Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let me see how many of you are wearing green. Okay. All right. Anyway, is there anybody here from another Unity Church? We'd like to welcome you if you're from another Unity Church. And is there anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand, please. Leave your hand up high. We've got a gift for you. Are our ushers on this? Down here in the middle, got a couple of people with a... We have a couple more down here. All right. Hey. Anyway, we are going to have the most amazing talk from Cintisha. She was out of the pulpit last Sunday. And whenever she's out of the pulpit, she just goes deep into meditation, deeper than she would ever go before, and she comes out with the most amazing spiritual, insightful truths. So look forward to this talk coming your way.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Thanks for spending some time with us. We enjoy spending our Sundays with you. We've got a few quick announcements of things that are upcoming, things that are happening today here at Unity of Boulder. Today, following this service, we are going to be having a potluck in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. So if you brought a food item or a dish to share, please take it over into Fellowship Hall and they'll get that all ready. But even if you didn't bring anything, still come join us. Please just hang out. We just always have a good time and a good meal, and there's always plenty of food for everyone. So that is following this service in Fellowship Hall today. Here in April, we're having a concert. This is our second annual time we've done this. We did it last year. It's called the Peace Through Music Concert. And this is a benefit concert for some charities that are right here in Boulder. One of them is called Boulder Muse, and the goal of that charity is they try to get musical instruments in the hands of children who, for whatever reason, cannot get their hands on them. They can't afford them. But they also teach the children how to play them. So if your kid wants to play the drums, they will find a drum set. They want to play a tuba, they will get a tuba in these kids' hands and teach them how to play it. So that's a fantastic organization. The other thing that the other organization that it's benefiting is called Boulder Streetscape Outreach. And this is an organization it's an outreach organization to our homeless community here in Boulder. And its goal isn't just to give help today. Its goal is to try and teach them and educate on how to get to that next level where they actually can be self-sustaining and rejoin. So it's not about handouts or anything like that. It's a wonderful organization with absolutely tremendous people working on it and who are dedicated. So that concert is Thursday, April 4th. That's a Thursday night, I said. It's at 7 p.m. It's $20. You can get the tickets on our website. Or $10 if you're under 15, but it'll be $30 at the door and $15 at the door. So you want to get your tickets early. We do actually have a few physical tickets for sale in the bookstore if you'd like to get one. So definitely check that concert out. It's got choirs, soloists. There's a DJ. I think there's even a rapper this year. It's just a fun 2 hours to raise some money for some great causes. This Tuesday, Norma is going to be leading the Spring Equinox celebration in Fellowship Hall. It's going to be at 8:30 p.m. That is the right time. You don't have to sign up for it. It's just walk in. We take an offering at it, but mostly we sing, chant, and drum. If you have a hand drum you'd like to bring, please bring it. If not, we've got extras. So come on out for that this Tuesday night at 8:30. And so next week is Palm Sunday. And we are going to have our 9 a.m. service is going to be our normal meditation 9 a.m. service led by Jack. But our second service, we're going to have a lot more music, and we're going to have our Palm Sunday music, and we'll have our choir up here a lot more, and that service will also be led by Jack. So definitely come out for that. And following that week, we have our Easter services, and those are just going to be at our normal times, 9 and 11. They will both be the same service. We're not doing tickets for it this year. All you have to do is show up and invite someone you know. All right, thank you.
No? I am. I just arrived. I had to buy groceries for the potluck today.
All right, here you go.
I don't know what her excuse is.
Okay.
Probably preparing her talk.
There we go. All right, sorry about that. All right, so this is the point in our service where we're going to do a call for prayer. It's a time to leave our mind chatter outside these doors and come into the presence and softening in to the heart, the soul, the part of us that remembers all the many lifetimes, all the things we've learned through the difficult, to open up to the brilliance of the true meaning of who we are, which is God in expression. So this is a time you can write a name down on a piece of paper and put it out there for prayer for someone that might be feeling a challenge in their life right now. And it's always okay to write your own name. You don't need to write what the issue is. We know that God already knows what you need before you ask. The process of prayer is aligning with this high consciousness. So being a part of that vibration that brings healing to ourselves and others. And we have Steve Sheets, who's the head of our prayer partners, who will come down the center aisle and collect those names and put them in our prayer box up here that will be prayed over here in the Unity building for a month, and then they will be sent off to Silent Unity for a following month. All right, but we like to sing the song to come into this presence, and they say to sing is to pray twice, so we invite you to sing with us. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. And I'm grateful for you. And so it is.
And now we'd like to welcome back to our stage today's musical guests. We have John over here, and we have Amy coming back. Welcome back, guys. In celebration of St. Patrick's Day, they are going to give us a little taste of the Emerald Isle.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're so glad to be here. We were really looking forward to coming back and singing and playing for you guys. So we have a song that on the surface seems to be about whiskey, but it's really not. This is an old traditional song. Alan Lomax thinks it originated way back in the late 1600s in England and Ireland and Scotland. And it's about a highwayman and his act of resistance for Ireland was to rob the British nobleman. And so a rough around the edges character, but sort of a Robin Hood of his day. And the song became really popular in colonial America for obvious reasons. So it's a very old song, and it has a sing-along part and a clap-along part. So the sing-along part is Musha ring dum-a-doo dum-a-da, whack full da daddy-o, whack full da daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. So if you're inclined, sing it out loud. As I was going over Gilgar Mountains, I met Colonel Pepper and his money he was counting. I drew forth my pistol and I rattled my saber, said stand and deliver, for I am a bold deceiver. Musha ring dum-a-doo dum-a-da, whack full of daddy-o, whack full of daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, those shiny yellow coins sure did look bright and jolly. I took the money home and I gave it to my Molly. She promised and she vowed that she never would deceive me. But the devil's in the women and they never can be easy. Musha ring dum-a-doo dum-a-da, whack full of daddy-o, whack full of daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, when I awoke between the hours of 6 and 7, guards were standing round me in numbers odd and even. I drew forth my pistols, but alas, I was mistaken. I fired off those pistols and a prisoner was taken. Musha ring dum-a-doo dum-a-da, yeah, whack full of daddy-o, whack full of daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. They put me in jail without a judge or a jury for robbing Colonel Pepper in the morning so early. But they didn't take my fists, so I knocked down that sentry. And I bid a long farewell to that cold penitentiary. Musha ring dum-a-doo dum-a-da, whack full of daddy-o, whack full of daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. So there's a happy ending. Some take delight in fishing and bowling, others take delight in the carriage rolling. I take delight in the juice of the barley, courting pretty women in the morning so early. Musha ring dum-a-doo dum-a-da, whack full the daddy-o, whack full the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. One more time.
Well, that was a fun way to start. Celebratory. Feels like we're down at the Irish bar. You remember the Irish bar that used to be down there? We could go see dancers on St. Patrick's Day, and I always loved going early before it got crazy and enjoy the wonderful Irish music. So thank you for taking me back on a journey of wonderful, wonderful times with my family. And I've been to Ireland a few times, and I absolutely love Ireland. It's one of my vibrational places that I don't think there's a person that ever goes there that doesn't feel a synergy to the people and the land there, because the people are so friendly and inviting, and you just have this wonderful community experience with people that invite you in, and you're strangers, but you're friends so quickly with them, and it's such a ethereal country. We talk about all the time wanting to be able to tap into the unseen realms. Oh my gosh, if you want to go to a country that will have you do that, it's definitely Ireland.
Just takes enough Guinness.
We don't drink Guinness when we're there. He's joking. My dad's like, it just takes enough Guinness. Yeah. My family, we went there, my parents and Mike and I, a couple of years ago, and we had an experience where we were in some town, and I don't remember the town we were in, but we had lunch there, and it was beautiful, and we were on a porch looking out over all the green fields, and there's a big castle next to us, and just had this wonderful, wonderful time. And then we left, and we set off to go to the next town that we were going to stay in, because you usually, there's really cheap ways to do it. We have bed and breakfast, and that's your next destination. And we were heading towards this next destination, and we went back on the highway to leave, going for at least 45 minutes, and it was time for us to take an exit to where we were going. And when we drove into this town, we reappeared in the same town we were in before. We clearly went into a wormhole, and I'll never forget the feeling in the car. It was just like we all just staring at every building, going down into the car. It was so quiet. It was like, what just happened? It was just absolutely chills. And then that type of stuff happens a lot there, and it's magical. And I don't know if there was something in that town that we needed to come back to. Do we have some history in that town? But we did have such a synergy in that town originally, and so it's stuff like that I look upon in my life, that I have in my journals, that I reread to remember when Spirit is revealed to us, that there's something that you just can't put your finger on, that has nothing to do with the five senses or this human physical experience, that there's something more to our soul than just this one time, this one lifetime here. And yet we get so caught up with what this one lifetime is about, and the achievements of this one lifetime, and the financial ways we want to attune, and how we want to have a certain amount of children, and all these different things that we put ahead of ourselves, and kind of merely gauge how our life is going by those things that we've attained or that we put ahead of ourselves, maybe as goals or dreams. And we don't really realize that there's always something bigger going on, that there's a deeper unfoldment to every aspect of our lives. So if we're in a really nice, high vibrational area in our life right now, that was probably because you've just went through a lot of deep inner work. And you worked through some things, and you're in this unfoldment where you're getting to really feel the blessings and the twinklings of that deep inner work. And we know that then we eventually will go back into some more deep inner work. And I think that deep inner work is about revealing more and more of the capacities of the Spirit, more and more of what is possible in our unfoldment, right? So today's talk title is Shine with Ease. And a big part of the shift to the fifth dimension has to do with your frequency, your energy, your inner light, and your true essence. So it's really coming into who we really are. What is the soul revealing to us right now? And we're going to find that while we're being revealed unto ourselves, the truth and the divine nature that we are, we're going to find that there are things that come up against that in the world, because some people are still really operating in the world. While we're in the world, we're not of the world. That's one of our goals in unity, is to not be of this world. Because if we see the world and how it's unfolding right now, it's enough to take anyone down and take us into a very deep vibrational darkness. Because we can't look to the world for peace or prosperity or anything, that the whole journey is going inward. And if you would think that God would give us a reflection of not wanting to be out there, it would be what's happening right now. It's a really good opportunity to, I don't really want to watch the news anymore, or I really don't want to be around energies that no longer match my frequencies. You know, I think we're coming back to church. We see that church is growing again because we're feeling called to the nature of spirit. And it's not just in churches or spiritual centers, it's in nature. It's becoming so much more uniquely identified with the oneness with all life, realizing our co-creation with all life, all the beauty. Like we're seeing spring is coming now, and the grass is starting to get green, and we're seeing that second life. You know, it's like we were going into the death and the resurrection that's coming up here of Jesus, which represents the death of old parts of ourselves, the death of things and limitations that no longer work in our own lives. And the whole point is to let the past go, to let go of identifying with the things that tell us that we're less than perfect. And we tend to look for people outside of us to validate those words to us so that we will feel good or we'll feel God. And the only one we're going to ever really have say that to us is us to us. You know, so often people are people pleasers, and we want to be the change we want to see in this world, so we want to please everybody. And we want to be the people that can really kind of fill in those voids for people that are having discord in their lives. And so we say yes when we really need to say no, and we do things that we really can't balance into our day-to-day, and we overtax ourselves by overly playing into a world that we think we can actually fix another's experience. But if we could take that people-pleasing and turn it around and please ourselves, that's when that higher vibration takes over, and then you are healing others through this high vibrational energy. But the thing is we're giving ourselves away. We're keeping ourselves distracted by filling other people's voids, and what we're doing is we're avoiding our own true growth, our own call to stepping in to the spiritual light energy that we're here to do and be. And it's not selfish. And if we were raised in Christianity, we would think, is that humility to be taking care of oneself? But how can we take care of others if we don't fill up the glass here? How can we take care of our children? How can we love on our spouses? How can we love on our staffs or our bosses and do the great work if we're just always giving it away without consciousness? Eventually, we're busting over with so much high vibrational energy that it is just blazing the goodness for this planet and this world. So you know that we are in the year of the 8. Again, adds up, 2024 goes into an 8, which is the year in numerology which represents the process for karmic balance and manifestation, abundance and success, a year for yielding strength and empowerment, and the grace of spiritual harmony. The grace of spiritual harmony, I think, would be the most unbelievable ideal of this. The grace of spiritual harmony. To be able to walk around in that state, but many of us might be stuck on the process for karmic balance. And that's not as easy, right, as the grace of spiritual harmony. But the karmic balance is important because everything's coming around so quickly now. We're being shown where we are not whole in every aspect of our lives. And there's not a person that I'm talking to right now that's not being shown where they've kept coming up short and not decided to change a vibration within themselves, where they're not attracting this one thing like Groundhog's Day that keeps coming up, and it's like, I thought I overcame that, I thought I did that, and then all of a sudden it's new versions of a different situation, but it's the same teacher. That's how we know that we're kind of in the karmic balancing. And trust, I'm not exempt of these things, okay? This is how I come up with my material. I just look at my life. And I talk to a lot of people. And so I find that, common current. But it's also a time for manifestation, abundance, and success. But that's on that tail end on the other side. When we can get into the karma, because karma's not here to hurt us. Karma's not here to get us. It's not from some placating God from the sky that's like, oh, you've done wrong, or it's a past life thing, or it probably could be from past lives, and it could be from a current of this life, and it can be from childhood wounds. But all it's asking for, when it's coming up, it's you that's bringing it on you, because karma is memory. Karma, and it might not be memory in the conscious, it might be subconscious memory. So these things keep coming up from a place that you're unaware that you're projecting in the world, which could be low self-esteem, could be self-hatred, it could be not feeling worthy, it can be shame, it could be, all those lower nature, guilt. And so we carry this energy that we project out into this world, and so we attract outer circumstances to prove that you are those broken things. So that's a part of that karmic balancing that we have to come into our wholeness to start attracting and being in the alignment of the energy that brings our abundance and our success, right? And so we're all getting a lot of opportunities to heal these things. And so today I'm playing the 888 frequency, so that sound that I'm playing, I've been doing a lot of the frequency sounds because we are vibration, and the whole point is to be moving from 3D to 5D frequency. And this is about infinite abundance, love, wealth, wholeness, and happiness. So a lot of times when I'm working in my office, I have these frequencies playing, and it's usually, I find one that might be just the frequency of God, which is 1111. I like to play that one a lot. There's a frequency for intuition, so maybe we're sitting at a precipice and we don't know exactly, we're sitting at a fork and we don't know which direction to go. Then I usually listen to high intuition and foresight, sixth sense. Working with what this universe has to help us to move through all this. It's just wonderful, right? And then obviously there's the tree of life. That represents our Mother Earth. Look at all those beautiful colors. Look at all the radiance. When we earth, we get our feet on this earth, and it's finally getting warm enough where we're going to be able to do that more. Cold plunging in rivers and doing all these wonderful things. We live in Colorado. There's so much opportunity to connect with this higher vibration that has to happen. We're all being called to it. It's not some people. Everyone is, right? So I'm going to give you a little overview of what we've covered in the last 3 weeks of this 4-week series. Well, actually, I'm going to use this. I'm going to go through the slide, actually. This is from the first week. In Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. He writes, "Let us remember that heaven, as Jesus uses the term, refers to a present potential rather than a future place. He said the kingdom of heaven is at hand in Matthew 3:2. The kingdom of heaven is always within the creation, as the oak tree is always in the acorn. The whole is always in the part. The divine being that you can be is always the depth potential within the struggling human person you can sometimes be." So what this is saying is we are creating the heaven in the midst of us. We are co-creators with God, creating our reality through thoughts held in mind, through words we share, through feelings we feel. We are creating heaven. And we could be creating hell. Both are states of consciousness, not places we go to. We may go to in the end of life. I'm not here to proclaim what happens at the end. What I'm talking about is what are we doing here? Two are the processes of consciousness. So you know that you're creating heaven in the midst of you if you're feeling a lot of peace and happiness and excitement and an awe for this universe still, and like a childlike wonder, like you can't wait to see what this day is going to bring. Like the little kid that's like, oh, every day is like a birthday party. Or if you're waking up and it's dread, it's, I want to sleep longer. I have nothing to look forward to. I wish I had community. I wish I had friends. Those are the ones that's hell on earth. We are community beings. Our nature needs to have that mirroring of friendship, lovers, children, animals, right? We're supposed to be having mirrors of a lot of love in our life. And that fills our heart. We can do without quite a bit if we have that friendship or that partner that we get to mirror this whole thing and share it all with. Key points of this talk series have been this: reimagining old structures that are no longer serving you, cultivating a oneness with Mother Earth, working towards living in flow rather than friction. What you resist persists. The most significant, rewarding change you could ever make is on the other side of the thing that you fear to let go. God is your instant, constant, and abundant supply. Embrace the infinite, transitioning from victim to empowered. So, we had talked about the first week that the words, there's a light language, and one of the light language things that we've learned is to say, I want to do something. I'm happy to show up. I feel great that I have to leave work early and pick up my child from school, right? And the opposite of light language is I have to. And we tend to say I have to a lot in life. And that takes us out of the reality that we have free will. And again, it's all a choice in consciousness how we are going to share our inner experience, right? And in a way, we're kind of shifting from pessimistic to optimistic. We're trying to shift the energy from negativity to positivity, right? We're trying to move from fear to love. And it takes the tools of meditating and praying, right? We say through prayer and meditation, we merge with divine mind. This is from the fourth principle of unity. And we use denials and affirmations to move towards God. And what are denials? Denials are us recognizing something that we know is going wrong, like a health issue or something that's not well in our life or a career problem or whatever, and we look upon it and we say, not necessary, not wanted, not needed. We get in control so that doesn't go off like a racehorse that's running away from us. That's what we tend to do, is we get into this fear and we get stuck in the fear, and so we let this racehorse just take off, and before you know it, you've been dreaming about it all night. That's all you're ever thinking about when people are talking to you. You're not even thinking about what you guys are talking about because you're on this racehorse that's taken off with this issue, but you have this opportunity to say, not needed, not wanted, not necessary. And then you get into that place in your heart and you say, we merge with divine mind, which is God. You have a realization of the healing of what's needed and called of that moment. So what is the visual of that? If it's a healing issue, it's like, I am a healed, perfect child of God. It's the realization part. And then we get into a state of gratitude. Thank you, God. It's already taken care of. You already know what I need before I even ask. So I'm just getting my own mind into the right thinking about this, or the right feeling about this. The realization is, I'm a healed, perfect child of God. And then we always have to have the great gratitude statement. Thank you, Spirit. And then the last part of it is surrendering and letting it go. Because we also, again, can't really want for ourselves what God wants for us. We tend to have a limitation on the unfoldment of our good coming to us. So then we surrender it. We're in the realization it's going to be healed. and we're grateful that it's going to, and then we give it to God. So we get to let it go. We don't even have to think about this thing that's been keeping us up at night, right? So shining with ease, what does that mean? And shining with ease is not for anybody else. Shining with ease comes from within. It's a place of just pure love and light within ourselves. It gets to pulsate through us, and it comes from prayer, and it comes from meditation. It comes from kissing and playing with our creatures, our dogs and our cats and our babies and our children. It comes from the sweetness, that taste of sweetness in this world where we make time to make sure that we are in this vibrational connection with other, where we're mirroring this kind of love, and it's this ease, and it's a light, and it's an ease, and it's a light. And as we do this, we're heightening consciousness. Doing this, we're heightening. And we do this, we're heightening. And it's especially when we go out of our way with perfect strangers, and we're sharing ease and light. And we notice that we get it back. Because we're living in this, it's in giving that we receive. It's in giving that we receive. The universe is honorable, right? So, my definition of shining with ease relates to a creative life, which is any life where the decisions are routinely based more strongly on your curiosity than your fear. Every single day in all your realms of your life, and then your life itself will become a work of art. And it doesn't matter what you make, produce, and leave or influence. It's just that you will create a life that will be very interesting for you, which is the person that you want to keep the most entertained. So you're the one that comes up with what this ease and light is, but probably if you have a passion for music or dance or computer marketing, right? It doesn't have to always be of the creative that we think is creative. It's the creative outlet that you do, that you lose time. You lose days, you lose hours, because when you're in it, you aren't in the physical. There is just this song that's being written by you without you knowing, because you're not writing it, you're a channel. And in that moment, you just stay out of your own way, and all of a sudden, it's like your life is unfolding, right? Have you ever stepped into one of your dreams or life goals, facing the fear that has stopped you from the beginning? And by sheer courage and an inner knowing and intelligence, persevered towards achieving that one goal that you have put off for tomorrow so many times you can't even count? And by finally doing so, discovered your true self, your true life, and started to live abundantly? Because we've been talking about this since the first week, which is the greatest things that come into our life is when we face that one thing that we've been so fearful to let go of. So who's taken on that challenge a few weeks ago, where you've stepped in and you're facing that thing, that one thing that maybe has been since childhood that you weren't willing to move through, to discover? Right, so I'm really impressed with the three of you. I'm going to start having you guys take notes during these sermons. I am just teasing. I'm just teasing. Okay, well, how many people have a fear in their way of stepping into the very gloriousness of their true selves, which means you have to change something? All right, so that's a lot more hands. And honestly, this is the hardest part, right? Because nobody's going to ever do it for us. And sometimes the universe will almost force us to do it, right? And the thing that I'm overcoming right now in my life, which started last July, was absolutely my worst fear of all my life and my biggest dream. And it didn't come with me just running like, I'm going to start this. It was like the universe, like, you're not going any further unless you do this. And it was in multiple ways that it was going to come up. And I just started each day doing a little bit of it, right? So that's really the only place. We can't tackle something that's massive, like something that's from a very deep sense of trauma, or a very deep sense of shame, or a very deep sense of something we've said about ourselves that was in limitation, that it's work, it's a practice. Like each day, just stepping into this thing that you're fearful about. And you'll feel proud of yourself, because you're finally making you the spiritual priority in your life, right? We can tell everybody else how to fix their holes, and we can look at the, speck in their eye while we have a log jam in our own and judge it and do all these things and keep ourselves distracted from self. But truly and truly, we're not going to get to 5D consciousness unless we're willing to step into our own stuff. And so each day, you step into this thing, because I'm sure the universe has revealed to you what this thing is. Who knows what this fearful thing is that's in your life that you need to step into? And let's be dead honest. Hands up, people. Right, so you know what it is. That's the first step. And then it's stepping in. Okay. So we've seen how Jesus refused to be swayed by the opinions of others. We tend to look to people for their approval about this big step. And you know what the thing is when we really are facing the real stuff? This is between you and your divine guidance. You bring this to prayer in silence. You bring this into your meditation because your friends and your family members want the best for you, but they're going to add their own fears on top of your fears, because it's hard for people to watch other people step into their life and living it abundantly, unfortunately. Unless you're with a mentor or a coach or a therapist or someone that's really going to see this with you and mirror you on the most beautiful level, do this with God. But we've seen how Jesus refused to be swayed by the opinions of others, but how did he keep from being afraid as his situation worsened, which we know today is the 5th Sunday of Lent. We are 2 weeks out, a little less for Good Friday. How did he persevere and face what he was facing with everybody coming down on him? And all he was doing was sharing light. All he was doing was sharing the potential of the human condition. All he was a light bearer saying, you too have these works in you that I do. And we wanted to crucify him. Take that into your own heart and recognize that. It doesn't mean that people want to hurt us. They don't know how to be there for people that are really willing to become Christ light. Become the Christ. And that's why this is so important. This community is so important. This is why circling up at the end, and we could talk about what was revealed unto us today. What came up for you today? Because one person sitting and hearing this sermon over here and what the person heard over here are probably two completely different experiences. People reflect me what they heard in the sermon. I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. All the time. Because we only perceive from the moccasins that we've walked in. We can only hear, we can only perceive, we can only take in from our own projections, our own reality, our own judgments, our own guilt, our own shame. That's why that circle is so important, because you realize other people are seeing it from this perspective, but somebody's seeing it from this perspective. And nobody's right or wrong. Because we're all in this together. Because we're all one. So, being the 5th Sunday of Lent, we become aware of his fearlessness most vividly in the final week. Yet he demonstrated a sense of divine protection and well-being throughout his ministry. After a busy day of teaching and healing amid great crowds, Jesus got into a boat with his disciples and headed into the Sea of Galilee. He promptly fell asleep, oblivious to a growing storm that was swamping the boat. The disciples cried out in Matthew 25, Lord, save us. We're going to drown. And he replied, you of little faith, why are you so afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. Don't you wonder who Jesus got to yell at when he was in those storms? Hey, guys, the wind's getting crazy and we're getting in fear. Why could he be calm in the face of that? But the other disciples couldn't get it. They thought he was a god or had special abilities, but he didn't. He had divine wisdom. Because we know when we get into fear in a turbulent situation, we're adding turbulence to the situation. Lord, save us. Lord, and metaphysically means the activity of the spiritual I am as the ruling consciousness. So Lord is us in those turbulent times, in these moments of stepping into our fears and having to overcome them and step through them and keep stepping through them and not backing off and not trying to look for substances and things of this nature to give us empowerment to be able to move through these fears, because it's never going to work. We have to step into the I am. This is Lord. I am insightful. I am intuitive. I am enough. I am healed. I am ready. I am grateful. I am alive. I am just is the alignment with this ethereal energies, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the whole thing. It's that sixth soul chakra we talked about last week, 2 weeks ago. And what is the wind? And all that turbulence on the boat, the wind and the waves are establishing the outer noise, the noise of the world that wants to distract you from that I am, which is not having enough money in your bank. It's your boyfriend not coming home on time. It's, whatever it is that we keep showing up that's why I'm unhappy. It's because of that. Oh, that's why I'm unhappy. This is why I'm not growing, because it's somebody else. There's nobody out there that's going to make you happy. And there's nobody out there that's going to heal your life. There's no guru. There's no meditation teacher. There's no me, because all I am, I'm fractured. I'm a human being having a spiritual experience, and I'm always working on myself. I'm just reminding you what I've come to learn, which is we cannot avoid the signs and symbols of spirit. When an opportunity comes up, you can feel it. And you can run from it, and you can delay it. But it will never go away from putting your hand in the sand. It's prayer and meditation. It's the I am. I see this storm that's going on in my life. I see this trouble in my marriage. I see this issue with my child. I see all I can do is step into the highest consciousness version of myself in enfoldment in this. And beyond that, what the other people are doing, as long as your children are over 18, it's none of your business. You can visualize, you can pray about them, you can do a lot of things. But beyond that, it starts here. I am responsible. I am capable. So, you might be discovering while you are awaking to your innate calling right now, embodying more and more of your true authentic self, blazing more and more of the light, that you truly are some of your relationships with friends and family members may be adversely reacting to your light. Who's experienced that? Let's get these hands up higher because it's hard for me to see. There's some honesty. I love honesty. Because we got to laugh about it, because what else can we do? Honestly, when we're the light and people outside of us, they get triggered, right? If you are one of the highly encoded souls that came here to shift the entire universe into another existence, which we all were, right? This highly encoded, these are words of the 3D to 5D, but the truth is you all are perfect children of God, and you all have been encoded to be this exact change in this world. But you've chosen, and maybe somebody's living the old structures that we just talked about from the past. Then the light you carry is going to trigger people. And this is my point of praying in silence, gratitude in silence, meditating in silence. We want to bring our friends along with us. because they mean so much to us. We want to bring our parents along with us because they mean so much to us. But the truth is, as you are shifting to the fifth dimension, you experience more soul-based connections. And you're going to find that some of these relationships aren't coming with you unless you're willing just to stay down in 3 to 4D. That's the unfortunate part. It doesn't mean they might not meet you in a few years, right? They might not join you, but we simply cannot make other people come with us on this journey. I can tell you who will come with you: your dogs and your cats. They're so happy that you're heightening your consciousness. They're like, about time. So, we've talked about Edgar Cayce and how he talks about how we come in with soul families, soul groups of people that we've traveled many, many lifetimes. And I'm finding myself up in one of these moments with friends where I've just been quiet for years, really, on this journey, and I can hang around them, and energetically the conversations that go on are becoming more and more unpleasing to me, and simply almost like I can't be around it. But I love them so much, and I don't want to leave them, And so recently, I've been going through all of this spiritual work and just living in books and meditating and praying and And I had a gathering with one of my friends, and this friend was for hours talking about the darkest stuff you could possibly talk about on earth, about the world, about and I'm sitting there going, how do I intervene and say, I can't talk about these things anymore, but I know this is my fieriest friend of all my friends. And I just take it for a few hours. And then when I thought it was done, this person moved to a whole new topic of and we had a few more hours. I'm gonna laugh because this is a nightmare. I'm sitting there so timid because this friend's intimidated me my whole life anyway, so it's just the way it is. I've always been the kind of peacemaker. And at one point, I just got the gumption to say, do you think we could talk about something a little bit lighter? Oh my God. You would have thought World War III took off in this room. I got demolished in a yelling, I got a how for, a how to. You're the most selfish person on the planet. It's always been about you. I never talk. I was like, duly noted. I took it. It broke me for days because I love this person. But it will never happen again. I got it loud and clear now. That will never happen in this experience because I love myself too much. I finally love myself too much to take that kind of energy in this world. So I share this as an example because it took me at least 48 hours to get the shock out of my system, because when you pray and you meditate, you are a light. You're so vulnerable. You're beautiful. You're lovely. I would much rather have a conversation with my dog every day than talk to a person that has any energy like that in them. So I'm not cutting this person off. I just simply won't talk to them ever again. God bless it. All right. Hey, I just share what I'm learning as I'm learning it. Okay. So I wanted to, can we go a few minutes over? I've got a really good meditation that we could go. Like, it's just kind of, who can stay? If you have to leave, it's okay. But tithe on your way out if you do. Okay. Because we do still operate in the world. Here we go. Let's just get seated in our seat. And it's actually not long. It's just a quick, it's actually a really beautiful writing, and I just want you to close your eyes and take this in. Just take a deep breath in. And out with a... It's called The Journey by Mary Oliver, and it goes like this. And one day, you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundation, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night, and a road full of fallen branches. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. Look in the mirror, and that is where you see the Master. Who is the Master? It's the one who's able to orchestrate and build up the life you really want to have, not for somebody else. So who is the Master? It is the one who is hidden inside everyone and each one. It's the best version you can bring out about yourself. If you don't cultivate it, the Master won't come out from you. It is you yourself that needs to do the work. You do the work with the right methods, and that Master will come out. You are going to be your own master. You don't need to live your life for anybody else. Live it to the fullest possibilities of what you are capable of. And that is what they call self-mastery. And one of the major signs, since we're completing this talk series, of leaving 3D to 5D consciousness is a feeling of wanting to go home. There will often be feelings of wanting to go home, but without fully understanding what that means. Usually it's about the ascension process is finally happening, and the higher densities are taking place. And you're going to keep moving, just keep moving through that greater harmony, that alignment, and that peace. And what you will find when you go home is where you are right now. This time, you will feel free, loved, whole, needed, psychic, intuitive, ready, and willing. Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. Thank you.
What a beautiful meditation. Great things coming through. If we're open, we can watch the world change around us. We're going to see amazing things happening. We're moving into this 5D consciousness, and we are going to see amazing things happening where we didn't expect them to happen, not just within our own life experiences, but as Cintisha says, we're going to see it taking place because we are living from the master awareness that opens up and touches everybody. So we have freely received, we have an opportunity to freely give back. Let's bring into our hands that gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. Those of you that are watching this on live stream or watching it on our website, just scroll down to where it says donate. Please do donate. Find a way to get yourself involved in giving so that you can receive as well. So now we take that donation into our hands and bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have our Irish singers to come up and just give us some more of that great juice.
I think Cintisha really is connected on another plane because it seems like always the songs we choose tie in so perfectly with what she talks about. This song is one of my favorite songs. It's a Waterboys song, and my brother gave me a cassette tape when I was in high school with this song on it, and I just, wore it out. Playing it over and over, it's about breaking free of the bonds and that hope of freedom and just being able to live the life you want to live. Well, I wish I was a fisherman sailing on the sea, far away from dry land and its bitter memories, casting down my sweet line with abandonment and love, no ceiling bearing down on me, say the starry skies above, but light in my head, you were my arms. I wish I were a brakeman on a hurtling fever train, riding headlong into the heartland like a cannon in the rain, with the beating of the sleepers and the burning of the coal, watching the towns are flashing by on a night that's full of soul, and light in my head, you were my arms.
Thank you for your beautiful music this morning. It's really, really enjoyable. All right, well, we have prayer partners available to you if you're facing a challenge or even a joy that you'd like to share. Lisa and Steve with the white shawls, they'll come and find you. You can stay seated in your seat at the completion of the service, and they'll take you down to our beautiful meditation room and pray with you, or in the sanctuary. I will do like a 10, 15-minute gathering right after the service in the back if you want to discuss the sermon, because we're going to be going into a potluck today, so we want to make sure we socialize and get to know each other. So if you want to run out and grab a little dish to share, or we have plenty, if it's just one of you here, you can just join us for this wonderful gathering that will happen around 20 after 12. Norma has her spring equinox coming up on
Tuesday
at
the
8:30.
19th, 8:30 in the evening. So,
And I
They'll
think,
probably be in Fellowship Hall. It's
yeah.
on a donation basis.
all right, so let's gather, and we'll do Let There Be Peace on Earth in a circle. And we'll sing I Release and I Let Go. Here we go.